Today we'll be talking about what we call huddles. I'm not sure what the real world calls it, but that's what we call it here. And it's just the idea of getting all of the necessary people together to keep the flow of information happening as if it is a product. So when we look at the value that each person creates in the business, it's so easy to look at the flow of a piece of furniture and see some of the silly things that we might do to stop that flow. A little bit harder to look at that from a flow of ideas or information. So the whole purpose of a huddle is so that that value creation never stops, and that the moment that it stops, it gets escalated to the next level of authority so that we can keep work going. So if any of you have ever watched a video of the Toyota factory, and if you ever see what happens when there's a problem, they pull an end-on cord and leadership runs to solve the problem. We want that same behavior on the knowledge work that we create, the marketing, the finance. So huddles are a tool that a lot of organizations struggle with, I think partly because they haven't clearly identified that the goal of that huddle is to make sure that value is creating in flow without waste. So there's a couple different versions of this. So we have tiered huddles, which means at the beginning of the day we want our teams closest to the work on the shop floor, least authority to meet and know what's going on. Then we want the next set of leaders to do the same after that with that information. And then the last huddle we have on a daily basis is where I would attend as president to find out what are the big problems or what's going on in the company. There's also a huddle for functions where you might say, hey, we want all of a silo to meet together to learn best practices. So it needs to be adapted to your company, but the most important part of this is if you get to the point where you know that there's a time every day or 3 times a week where you can meet together and make sure that nothing is stuck, I can assure you're going to find value being created faster than ever. If you have any questions about this, feel free to ask us.